in a while.
I know. I'm worried if we didn't get it right or not.
Yeah, we forgot how to do this.
As it is, I just hit my computer thing, so take it away.
All right, guys. Well, we have been quite busy and, got a lot going on. I started back with the company that I used to work with before, First Texas Products. Speaking of that, we are going to the Hershey RV show. I'm going to be, Carrie will be there too. She's not working the booth, but she'll be coming back and forth. Nursing Our Travel Bug said howdy. Karen says hi. We're going to be at the Hershey RV show, booth 400, which is inside that little convention center type thing. Mm-hmm. So make sure to swing in and say hello at booth 400. It's Kellyco is the name of the company, and it is one of our bigger dealers or distributors, and I will be there as a factory rep, so swing by and say hello.
So thank you all for coming and stopping by. It's been a while since we've done a live stream. A lot has happened for us, just kind of gave a little bit about that, and so stay tuned tonight. You're going to hear something really, really big that we've done, how nerve-wracking it was, some pretty significant changes that have been going on,
yeah.
And what led up to that, and what it's like going on. But before we jump into that, I do want to say a huge thank you to Waggle. Waggle has sponsored the live stream for this evening.
Yep.
You may have seen a video we did several weeks ago about the MyWaggle pet monitor. Absolutely love this. And the reason why we're also bringing it up tonight, we do have a link below where you can save 40%. However, this weekend, they're doing 50% off, and you can click the link down below, but if you put in the code PET50 when you check out, you'll save 50%.
Man,
so
we paid full price for ours.
So if you have any questions about it, check out our video there. Patrick and Patty also have a fantastic video.
Travels with Delaney, yeah.
So we both love that. We just wanted to say a big shout out and a thank you to Waggle for that.
It's really opened up our ability when we're traveling with the dogs. One of the things, Carrie would never want to leave the dogs in the rig.
I wouldn't.
For fear of, the electricity going out, the air conditioner shutting down.
We've stayed at several campgrounds where the power goes out, especially in the summer, a lot of surges. So
with this, it just sends you real-time, notifications. You can log in and see what the exact temperature, humidity levels, all that is. Or it can, if stuff starts to go wrong, it'll message you and say, hey, the temperature's gone up 3 degrees. It is now X, and you can set it to let you know, at any break point that you want. But anyways.
Okay.
Thank you, Waggle.
So I do want to say a hello. It's so good to see some of these names back again. Actually, all of these names back again. We've got Nick Picks. Nick's Picks.
Nikki's easier.
Karen and Mark Milinarski, who are camping this weekend with some people that we know.
Somebody asked a question about the Waggle. They asked, is it RV or our Vagabond Travels? It has its own 4G system, so no. All you have to do is have data, be in an area where there's cell phone coverage.
Yep, just like your phone.
And it'll work off of that. So
it's within a couple dollars, but I think we paid about $149 for the cellular plan, and that's for 12 months.
Yeah.
And then that way, you download the app to your phone, and you can check anytime. And one thing that we've done with this a couple times, if you don't want the AC running all the time while you're gone, and you don't want to come back to a really hot rig, or if you
miss you too, Adria.
If you do come back to a hot rig, I know there's been a couple times where we will swing through, turn on the rig, and then we keep checking our app to see when the temperature in the rig is cooled down. Then we'll go back to the campground after we've done our errands when we know that it's cool enough.
Okay, so who's here now?
Let's see. Lippy Lisa, Diary of a Family.
DFAM, yeah.
Randy's Adventures. Oh, she said new cut. Yes, I hacked a lot of it off, which was,
Yeah, there's a lot of hair. It was down, it was way down there.
And I think the last time I had a haircut was right before everything shut down, before the pandemic. So it was well overdue, and it feels so much lighter.
Adria, I don't think we're going to be at Tampa. The reason being is the company I work for is we need to be in Vegas for SHOT Show, which is a
Yes.
big outdoor
And it's
show.
the same week.
It's the same week, so yeah, we won't be able to make that, but we are going to be up in Hershey. I know you're from the Florida area, but if you're venturing up to Hershey, Pennsylvania, we'll be there.
So I'm going to take people back just a little bit. Back in June, things started really getting busy. You may have seen on our Facebook, we did some updates. Russ had a really big schedule that we were running all over the country.
Yes.
We went to the Red Dirt Shootout, which was in Tishomingo, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it, but obviously Blake, what's his name, Sheldon
And
Yeah.
Gwen Stefani, they were right down in there, and we drove by and saw them, and Russ would not stop and let me get out and take a picture.
There was
with them.
already a throng of
That's
people
okay.
around them.
You do not just drive by
But
when
yeah,
Gwen Stefani is
we
right
actually
there.
had the event meet and greet at Blake Shelton's place there. Something Big Dog or Red Dog or something like that.
Yeah, right down
the
in
restaurant.
Tishomingo. It's a really little town, but I guess he's a co-owner of this bar that's there, and it was fantastic.
Yep, had a good time.
Then we went back to Florida really quick for a Fisher Days event.
Yep, I had at Kellyco, which
Yeah.
is the company that we're going to be at for.
So you had two, the
Yeah.
Kellyco.
I'm getting there. So the first one was Kellyco, which is the company we're going to be at up in Hershey, and the other one was Myers Metal Detectors in Tampa, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in Orlando and Tampa doing meet and greets with our customers there.
And then you got to go metal detecting out with some of them after, and there was the Red Tide, which
Yeah.
I had never heard of before.
Yeah, there was no metal detecting. You just couldn't get in the water. The water was bad. So on our metal detectors and chit-chatted the whole time.
Now, something interesting that I learned about that Red Tide, it can affect your breathing. You don't
Yeah.
even have to be in the water to
Yep.
do that, which that was something, we learned something new. And then we went up to Tennessee.
Yep.
We had a Chattanooga relic show, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing some of the things you can see there. There was a Civil War jacket for $35,000.
Yeah, it was the butternut one, the tan
Mm-hmm.
one. So there's very few of those. You know what's interesting about that jacket? That was a full-grown man's jacket.
so tiny.
It was tiny. I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe Alice from
I was
Downsizing
gonna
Makes
say-
Sense could fit in
Yeah.
it, but nobody else could.
And then Knoxville, Tennessee, another Kellyco.
Yeah, so
training
Kellyco
event.
has two offices. They've got offices in Orlando and they've got offices up in Knoxville. So we had to do training at both of those.
So the reason why I bring that up, besides kind of giving you an idea of what we've been up to, while we were on the road, we had a very scary event. We were at a campground, and you got a very disturbing phone call from your father.
Yeah, so my dad, Vietnam vet, did several tours in Vietnam. Never have seen my dad remotely scared or nervous about stuff, but he called and he had a bad day. My dad's 99% disabled with from effects of Agent Orange. He's got issues with high blood pressure as well as diabetes,
Yeah.
all from being a veteran related. And he called and he said he was just scared, and he wanted us to be there for him. And Carrie and I packed up and started heading. But the thing, I looked at Carrie and I said, this is going to happen again. Even though he got better, I said, we were stuck. There's nothing we could do. Even if we wanted to, we couldn't have Dad come live in our camper with us.
No.
So we were stuck.
And even staying where he's at, his apartment's too small, doesn't have the ability to do that. And even if I wanted to stay and help his dad, Russ would still have to travel for work. So it made us start thinking about what do we do if we have this situation, because it's something very real that we had to think about. Are we able to be there for our family? So that kind of led us to the big lifestyle change.
That and 2 tick bites.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those tick bites. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, so go ahead.
So we decided since the interest rates were so great, we invested in a house. We will still be traveling a lot.
Yeah, I would imagine we'll be on the road about 7 months out of the year.
And that's mostly because of Russ's work schedule, so we will still be on the road a lot. But now we will have the ability, we've talked with Russ's father, we do have plans to bring him to the house in January. He has to wrap up some things there, and we actually have the downside to downsizing. We had nothing. Nothing. I mean, we had saved a 5x5 storage unit when we hit the road.
And those were just mementos and stuff, a sign that Carrie's sister had made for us. Hey, there, speaking of Alice and Larry, Downsizing Makes Sense. Thanks for joining in, guys. Hope you're all safe. I know you're kind of in the path of all that rain from Ida. But where was I going? Oh, yeah. But yeah, those were just mementos, signs, pictures, that sort of thing. Some relics that I had found over the years, metal detecting. But yeah, I think we didn't have one piece of furniture. We did keep our big 60-inch TV. So
priorities.
When we first moved back into the house that we bought, we had a 60-inch TV with nothing else.
So we laughed a few months ago. We got those. What are those chairs called again? Nemo
chairs, yeah.
And they're pricey, but best camping chairs ever.
Great living room chairs
but
now.
But that's the thing. I use the justification saying we don't have a living room. The outdoors are living room, so I can justify spending this money on those chairs. Well, guess what's in our living room right now? My sister, thankfully, had a dining room set. That's what we're sitting on right now. She gifted us a dining room set. So thank you, Kelly. But here's the tricky thing about the whole purchase, because we had very specific needs. I imagined when we first went full-time that if we ever bought a house or invested in a house again, it would be my dream house. It would be out in the middle of nowhere or on a lake or something like that. But we have very specific needs because we do still travel a lot. We need to have something that's kind of along our routes that we'll be going. It had to be close to a VA hospital for Russ's father.
Had to be in Texas.
And we had to maintain Texas residency. That was a part of the agreement with Russ's employer. So we bought this house sight unseen.
Yeah.
The market, it's true. The markets have been crazy. We lost out on one house that we put a bid in on by 40 minutes.
Yeah.
There were two other houses that we didn't get and just got to the point where, okay, these are the houses that meet these criteria. And the first one that kind of met all the parameters, that's what we went for. So
yeah, I guess the big news was we bought a house. We are still on the road a lot. We're hitting the road here in a week or so for
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday for 6 weeks.
Yep, we'll be so with that, Russ mentioned we're going to Hershey. We will also be going to upstate New York for a dig stock. That's like this huge metal detecting event, which is going to be a lot of fun. And I think we're going to try to put in a lot of different abandoned places along the way.
So yeah, we've been real busy on doing video for another channel that we have. We're sitting at about 750 subs now. That channel's about 4 months 4 months old. So that channel is growing quite quickly. But it was just something, one of the things that Carrie and I really enjoyed, one of the things that we decided was we like traveling and we like going and exploring these places. Unfortunately, view-wise, they weren't really, they wouldn't get a lot of stuff. So we decided to make another channel so we didn't interrupt the roads we roam, and that channel's called Nail in the Foot.
And we started thinking about it. A lot of people get into creating YouTube channels to document their travels or to do things that they love and they want to share with family. And those videos, I think, are more of just something that Russ and I really enjoy, love collaborating on together. So it's just a lot of fun. They're unique. This last one, Russ did a fantastic job retelling the ghost story of this haunted bridge that we found. And you get to meet a lot of different people. This was one of the first places where we actually saw people at the abandoned place that we went to, which was really interesting. But I think that one we're going to keep going. If you want to see some of the cool, quirky, off-the-road type places that we may see as we're traveling around, it's a different type. It's not an RV travel video. It's a destination
homemade
video.
pizza. That sounds delicious.
Oh, Liz always taunts me with really good food thing. The cheesecake one she sent me a picture of a while back. Yeah,
boy.
That was fantastic. R. Fleming is here. Said you're amazing. Keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
And Diary of the Family said, glad to hear you have a home base. I am not gonna lie. We made it through the big shutdown during the pandemic, boondocking out.
Bob and April, hey, travels abound.
Hi guys. We made it through all that, but there is some sort of calming thing, just knowing that we have a place to come back to. And I'll tell you, the story about this house is so cool. I mean, we didn't plan on it, but when we found out this place had been owned by the same couple for 51 years.
Yep.
And I mean, they took such good care of this place.
Thank you, Lisa.
And what made it even more special, so the husband passed away at the age, I believe, of 94.
Yep.
In January, and the wife just could not take care of the property. It's on 1.5 acres, so she went to go live with her daughter. They wrote such an amazing letter to us, welcoming us.
Yep.
And the very first words at the top of the letter was, "Welcome to Rosewood."
Yep.
And we're like, our house has a name.
It's not haunted. This place, no.
It's not haunted, no. But yeah, you would think with us going to visit all those places that we'd look for something like that. But no, a wonderful family had owned it. They raised, I believe, three daughters.
Yep.
In the home.
Archie was a pastor at the local church.
Mm-hmm.
And it's neat because out in my shed, so I've got a couple of sheds, but the shed that's attached to the house, that was Archie's work area, and that's become my work area. And I noticed
he's getting teary.
I noticed they left Archie's hat there. So Archie's hat, I just said, you know what? I'm going to leave that up there. It's been there for a long time. So when I go out there, my hat hangs right next to Archie's hat. But yeah, no, this is a great place. It's got a good vibe about it. We really enjoy it. But I think this really allows us to do a lot more carefree travel when we hit the road.
It does. I mean, one of the things we've already realized, I used every square inch of the little guy Max in our van for storage, because not only were we living full time out of it.
Thank you, Sharon.
But we also had all of the show gear that we had. And now that we've been able to offload it, and we're just thinking of just the next 6 weeks of travel, I don't have to pack all my deep winter gear and all the other stuff. There's so much room in the rig. Now, we're probably going to get better gas mileage.
Oh yeah, for sure. Here's the one disadvantage though. So one of the advantages we had when we were, hey Donna.
Hi Donna.
One of the advantages that we had when we were full-time and always had everything with us was just that. We always had everything with us. There was no such thing.
Hi, Jim.
There was no such thing of forgetting something.
Right.
You'd get that feeling, oh, I forgot. No, I didn't. I've got it with me all the time. Now we're back into that thing of, oh man, we can forget stuff.
And we probably will.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
We're not used to packing an RV because we've been packed all the time.
Yeah, we've always had everything. So
yeah, the first trip might be horrendously.
Although, here's another benefit that I'm looking at.
Yes.
Deferred maintenance. So if you are full-timing in your rig, there's a lot of stuff you just can't get to because you don't have the type of space to work on your RV. At a lot of the campgrounds you can't. Now that we've pulled everything out, we're looking at it with a fine-tooth comb going, oh, we need to fix this cabinet and we need to fix these screws. And really, the little guy Max, after 3 years, has held up fantastic.
Very well. There's only a couple of things that we need to fix.
Yeah, and going through that, I'm really surprised at everything is doable by us. Nothing really that we have to bring it in for, and we put a ton of miles.
Yeah.
I've lost count.
Well, geez, just since we left Just since we
Last
left,
year.
what was that place? Yellowstone. We put over 30,000 miles on that, and that was last summer this time.
Yeah.
So in a year, we put 30,000 miles on the Little Guy Max in
And
1
that's
year.
just
That was just 1 year.
So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of deferred maintenance that all the little things that we're kind of getting to.
Yeah, and it's just the little things like Carrie mentioned. There are things that wasn't really a big deal. However, a lot of times too, it's just even comes down to cosmetics. I don't have time for cosmetics. We gotta go. We gotta hit the road, or I can't crawl under here. Or I don't have the tools to do this cosmetic thing. So now that we have the house, Carrie and I have tomorrow we're walking around the rig.
Yeah,
Tomorrow morning,
doing final check.
we're gonna walk around the rig and look at all the final things we need to get fixed.
So Donna had asked, where is the house? So we are in Orange County, Texas, which is right on the border of Louisiana.
I'll tell you, we were sweating bullets when I was like, come on, just do a U-turn, head back out to the ocean, because you don't want anybody to get hit by it. But for a while, we were right in that cone. I was like, oh no.
Well, and the scary thing is, so when we bought the house, our house is technically not in the flood area. It's designated in the 500-year plain. So to close on the house, they didn't require us to get flood insurance. However, right after we moved into the house, all the neighbors that we met, did you get flood insurance?
Yeah.
You need flood insurance. Because I guess if this house, in the 51 years, it only flooded once, but that's all you know. But in Harvey, it flooded. It flooded.
Laura, a bunch of the houses around us flooded, but we're up at the
Just
front.
a little bit higher.
So we're a little bit higher. So during Laura, this didn't flood, but Harvey it did.
So I found out the very hard way that the only time you can buy flood insurance and have it active right away is when you're first buying the house. So when you're closing on the house, if you include it, it's covered from day one. If you wait, like we did, then you have to wait 30 days for the policy to become
and Ida
active.
was barreling down. I was like, oh no.
And we're not in the 30 days. We were terrified. It's like, what did we do? We just bought this house and a hurricane was headed straight for it. So we were crossing our fingers and our toes. Thankfully, it missed us. However, you just saw, now we were traveling the weekend. We were coming back, right?
Through Louisiana
On that Saturday. And when we were coming back, we were in the northern part of Mississippi, or not northern part, but getting close to Louisiana, and asked for us, hey, should we be getting gas?
I was like, no, we don't need gas. What are you talking about? 296 miles to empty. We're good.
Yeah, so I asked him that like 3 times. I started pointing out gas stations, and he still has not learned that when we travel, and I just start saying, hey, there's a Circle K. Hey, there's a Valero. That it's not, Carrie wants me to get gas.
I've never been in a hurricane. I never have experienced that sort of thing. Even being from Hawaii, I was always gone when the hurricanes came. So I couldn't understand why. Sometimes you just gotta beat it into my head, but she didn't. And all of a sudden it was like, okay, yeah, let's get gas now. We're less than 100 miles till empty. And it was like every gas station we came up to, we went to 5 before we got into one, but they were all out of gas. I was like, oh, I see why.
Oh, look at Travels with Delaney. Thank you for a housewarming gift.
Wow, well, thank you guys so much. I'll tell you what, a lot of you guys, if you're traveling through the Orange County area, which is Louisiana, right at the Louisiana-Texas border, get a hold of us, and we've got a place for you to plug in. But thank you. That housewarming gift will come in quite handy. I think I'll go buy some Yingling with it to warm this house with Yingling.
No, I need a chair to sit on in the living room.
Well, $10 ain't going to get it. But it will buy a 6-pack of Yingling.
Okay, we're going to have a lot of beer and nowhere for you to sit. And for those of you who may not know, today is Patrick's birthday, and they're doing a live stream right after this show tonight. So at the 8 o'clock Eastern hour, make sure you flip over
there. Yeah, say hello to Patrick, wish him a happy birthday. Good guy. I mean, I think we were blessed to meet Patty and Patrick early on in our travels. It's been a friendship that has lasted for a long time. Patrick and I talk, what, a couple
They
times a
have
week.
plans on wearing kilts and lederhosen in the future. So.
But yeah, great guy. All of you probably already know Patrick, but make sure to swing over and say happy birthday to Patrick.
Liz DC, she's awesome because I remember way back when I had this argument about decorative pillows in the little guy Max.
Thank you, Jim.
Liz said chairs and new decorative pillows.
Yeah, there you go. Jim, yes, so we are keeping the van. The van we found is just a great way to tow Teddy well within the limits, and we're going to keep Teddy. We're just going through some little cosmetic things right now to make him look nice and pretty again, but we love that van. That van is great for the dogs. It's great to take equipment with you, keep it dry, keep it safe. So, yeah, I can't say enough good stuff about our 250 Transit.
So Patrice Hemming said, came in late, did I hear you have a new channel? So we do have a channel that we document where we go and travel historic places, abandoned places. It's called Nail in the Foot. So, and bear in mind, just do the youtube.com/nail in the foot.
Do we have a link down below?
Not yet. I will put one in there.
Yeah, Carrie will put a link down below because if you type nail in the foot on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of gross foot pictures.
He did not think that through with the name. Even though I like the name, he didn't think it through.
The real name was going to be Watch Your Step because a lot of times I talk to myself. Well, I'm talking to the people on the camera, but a lot of times I say, watch your step, Russ, watch your step when I'm stepping into these places. And so I was like, that's a great name. I went to YouTube. There's like, I don't know, 10 Watch Your Steps, and a couple of them are really big. So I said, well, I'm not going to be able to compete with that. But so we went with Nail in the Foot. You know, hopefully we don't get any nails in the feet. Knock on wood.
So, and then Jim Kuzman said,
thank you, Sherry.
Are we keeping the little guy Max? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you answered that.
Yeah.
All right.
I know you're multitasking, so.
Okay, I'm going to put a link to the other channel real quick so you can check it out later on.
And this is not promoting that channel. If you have interest, go check it out. We have a lot of fun. We like it. If you don't have interest, don't worry about
That's
it.
why we separated it.
Yeah.
Going back to
Randy's Adventure says, happy birthday, Patrick.
That's right. We're all going to have to jump in on there. But going back real quick to the trip back home, and Russ, we literally went past 5 gas stations. It was kind of crazy to see. This was the Saturday before Sunday, getting ready for the hurricane to hit in Louisiana. I mean, you would go up and they had rope across
cars,
places that people
park
outside saying, you know, no more gas here. Thankfully, we finally found one. And then the I-10 was just shut down between New Orleans and the Texas line. There were several accidents. We had diverted and taken one of the country roads.
Yeah, Carrie did a fantastic job at navigating.
But
you saved us a lot of time.
There were still lines of cars because people were trying to get away, and since the freeway was stuck, they were coming up through there. I mean, it added about another 2 hours to our trip.
Yeah.
So it was very harrowing, and I really feel for the people that you saw all these old motels and whatnot just all crowded with people trying to escape.
Downsizing makes sense. Thank you so much. And yes, you have reservations set. Just let us know when you're coming.
One of the requirements for this house was that we had enough room to fit Downsizing Makes Sense fifth wheel.
Yeah.
So yes, we got it all set. And really, if we can fit theirs, anybody else's can fit.
That's right, because they've got some equipment there. I just wanted to give Blue Girl a shout out. And Patrick, thank you for sending Blue Girl over to our channel, Nail in the Foot. Mm-hmm. Patrick is such a good influencer, or bad influencer, however you want to put it. But he talked about it. Blue Girl came over, checked it out, and we've just really enjoyed seeing your comments. We read all the comments, we reply to the comments, and we're just so thankful that you enjoy it. So thank you so much. Stop, Eat, Explore, Dave and
They're in
Susan.
Massachusetts right
Yeah,
now.
I saw that. Hello from Mass.
So did you guys get affected by any of the flooding as well? You know, that's the one thing we were talking about today with the hurricane. There were so many warnings for down in this area and where it was going to hit. And it doesn't seem like, and maybe because we don't live up there, but it doesn't seem like there was as much warning for the people all up in the Northeast. I know that they said that there would be rains, but it seems like this flooding caught everybody by surprise.
So downsizing makes sense. Mentioned that if you search "nail in the foot" ghost,
then your
the
channel, and you can
will
bypass
pop
all the
up.
feed.
So guys, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And Alice, really appreciate your comments too. Love reading your comments. You're right up there with Stacy. Stacy Forrest is probably one of the best commenters, but you're right up there with her.
Robert Stitch says, I know that panic over the Colonial Pipeline shutdown early this year caused some gas stations to sell out too.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of scary when you don't know that in advance and you are traveling country roads and you're not sure where all the gas stations are going to be and whether or not they'll be open or not. I mean, that's kind of tricky, so always have that extra gas can ready. Stop Eat Explore, they left New Jersey just before the storm.
Oh, good.
So
I'm glad they got out of it. Yeah. You know what really surprised me is I was expecting a lot of issues down south here, coastal-wise, and yeah, there were, but, you know, I just couldn't believe you hear about all the property destruction and unfortunately deaths that happened in Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts. That Ida was no joke, so my heart goes out to anybody who's affected by this. You know, it's just a horrible storm, just unbelievable.
And hopefully there's no more bad hurricanes for the rest of the season.
Yeah. So yeah, downsizing makes sense. Said that they even experienced Ida there in Canada. I saw that they were. I think it was
power.
I can't remember if it was a community post. Yeah, it was either a community post or Instagram post where they had said they had lost power, and there were some downed trees. I think from the storm before the hurricane before.
Switching gears just a little bit, but I know that we shared several times with many of you when Russ's grandmother had her 100th birthday and her 101st birthday, and it was just 5 days after we closed on the house. Russ had to go back to El Paso for a few days for work, and it was the first time we had been apart in over 3 years. And the second day out there, we got word that his grandmother, Tutu, passed away. And so people had asked about her at different times, so we just wanted to give you an update with that. And we thank all of you for caring to reach out to us during those moments. So we just wanted to say thank you on that, and that was very tough, especially just that alone. But then just to be apart.
I forgot that downsizing makes sense. Met my grandmother.
They did. So, I'll tell you.
Yeah, she is an amazing woman. Thank you so much.
Alice and Larry came by when we were visiting Russ's mother and Tutu.
My
in Florida.
Tutu loved
Alice.
Yeah, she really enjoyed talking to you, Alice. So it was neat because COVID had been going on, and she hadn't had a lot of. It's one of the first times she got to meet somebody, you know, other than my mom or family, and we were all sitting outside. So she really had a good time talking to you, Alice. So thank you.
Well, she did. You know, I remember her telling me after that. You know, a lot of people,
Lisa.
because she was so tiny. I mean, Tutu kept shrinking every time we saw her. She just said, you know, I usually get kind of put aside and people forget that I'm there in the room, which I don't know how that ever happens, because everywhere I've ever been, Tutu was always the queen. But
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, she said it was so nice that Alice just sat there and paid attention to her and gave her a lot of great conversation, and so that meant a lot to her. So thank you, guys.
I guess she was telling Alice stories about me growing up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, that's the best part.
Yeah.
So one funny thing that I thought it was hilarious trying to get used to the house. It has been years and years and years since we've gone appliance shopping. This
Oh,
house did not come with
Lord.
a refrigerator, washer, dryer. Mary, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Mary. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
So Russ was in for sticker shock. He thought a washer and dryer would cost maybe
$400.
$400 together.
And can't even get one at that price. Wow.
So yeah, he had sticker shock with that, and then
The refrigerator.
we've had this house since August 3rd, and we
Thank
still.
you, Robert.
Did you know that when you go to stores like Lowe's or Home Depot or Best Buy and they have refrigerators for sale,
Thank you, Mary.
you can't take them home with you that day? Only the damaged ones maybe will they let you. We were told at all three places, no, what's on the floor is just what we have, and then we place an order and then we ship it to you. We are still waiting for a refrigerator, so thank goodness we have our Icy Breeze cooler and the Little Guy Max refrigerator.
I was going to say, we go into Teddy every day because we're using that refrigerator right now. So we still have not been able to reap the benefits of doing a nice big shop and have all this different food because, we got that little. But you know what? That trailer has really helped us.
Oh, immensely. I mean, I'm thankful that we at least have the ability for the.
So yeah, it was supposed to be here last Monday.
2 Mondays ago.
Yeah, 2 Mondays ago, and they keep pushing out and they keep pushing it out. So if they push it out one more time, we notice they do Tuesday, Thursday. They'll push it out to Tuesday, then they'll push it out to Thursday, then they'll push it out to Tuesday. So they do it one more time. Well, then we're gonna have to just tell them hold on to it
For a month.
for a month
or a month and a half.
we're gonna be on the road for a month and a half.
So yeah, I mean, we're still waiting on that, and one of the.
That's a good idea.
What's a good idea?
Downsizing makes sense.
A dorm
You should
fridge?
just get a dorm fridge. Yeah, we didn't even think about that because I think we have that one. So, but you know what?
Yeah.
It is a good idea, but there are so many things to purchase right now. So probably we'll just keep with what we have. We've been doing pretty good with it.
I hope it. Patrice said it took them a year to get a fridge.
Oh no.
Hopefully, well, at least we've got a workaround. But I don't want to wait.
Yeah, no, not a year. I got to figure something out there.
Maybe the dorm fridge. At least so we don't have to carry
2 or 3 of them.
Here's the one thing about the Little Guy Max that we found out on one of the forums. Somebody had to have their refrigerator replaced. Now they build all that stuff before they enclose it, like they put all that in there before they enclose it. The fridge is too big to get out the door or the window. So if your refrigerator dies, or at least the one that we have, if it dies in our Little Guy Max, we're gonna have a heck of a time trying to get it out and put a new one in.
So Mary is saying that they got their Little Guy Max Wednesday, I believe.
And they love it. Maiden voyage in 3 weeks, boondocking in Allegheny National Forest.
That sounds wonderful. You're going to have a great time. And that we did a lot of boondocking in that, so it can handle it. Yeah, we're so excited for you because I remember when we first got ours and we went out on that first trip. Remember to the first trip was to Anthony, like 12 miles away. But our first big trip was to Bottomless Lakes State Park. So I am thrilled for you because I know that feeling of when you're first going out on that trip, and look forward to it. Make sure to come back and contact us. Let us know how that went. If you have any questions, Carrie and I are pretty familiar with that rig. Feel free to get a hold of us. You can instant message us on the Roads We Roam on Facebook, and we can even give you our phone number at that point through instant messenger. So if you have any problems, just let us know there. Donna says, "Oh, Russ and Carrie, so sorry for." Thank you, Donna. That means a lot.
Robert Stitch is not giving me any hope. He said, "My mom recently ordered a fridge that might not arrive until March." I understand because Russ's company is dealing with this as well. The pandemic, they're having hard times getting components. So
here's the thing: we have been able to have, like huge monthly sales. Bigger than we've ever had. But we just don't have the product to sell. We get these orders and we're like, this could be a unbelievable month. I've been there since 2014 and I've never seen order months like what we have right now.
Yeah.
we just can't make a lot of the product because the processors or plastic,
Yeah.
you name it, there's some sort of issue. Debbie Hannigan had said something.
She said, I'm sorry to hear about your grandmother, a lot going on in your life right now, and it seems like the best plan to take a break from full-time traveling. You
Yeah.
know what, we still have a very, very busy schedule, so we will be on the road for a good part of this fall, but just knowing that we have this place now is very comforting, and I think it just gives us that peace of mind. Travels abound.
Thank you,
Housewarming
guys.
or van train horn starter fun?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. Explain the train horn.
Man, I tell you what,
Bobby
if you that channel right there, Travels Abound, which is Bobby and April, they've got such a cool channel. He's got such a neat. He's got this like air compressor under his truck. I don't know what it is. He showed it to me, but he's got this like train horn that he can make, which is neat. But you know what else? I mean, if you've got to pump your own tire up on your rig, he can just turn his truck on or whatever and charge the thing and pump up any tires. I mean, it's a great little setup. I was kind of blown away by what he has.
They just got their new RV this week. They
Yeah,
picked
I
up
know.
Blant,
Yeah.
and I just loved the excitement that you can see in April's face as she's going through,
Oh, yeah,
showing
yeah.
everything. And the bunk room is huge now.
I also wanted to throw out there that, check out Travels Abound. If you don't know who Bobby and April are, Travels Abound is, they're Bob's Mug Coffee, who do a great job of supporting the RV community. Great people and great coffee too. But I just wanted to make a quick little shout out to Debbie Hannigan. They have just gotten their LGM here recently too, and they went out on their maiden voyage. And,
There's more little guys on the road.
and they found some of our videos helpful. So that's probably one of the best things we can hear, you know, is that, hey, you know, whenever you get somebody new saying, hey, we've learned this about our rig, or we found an answer to something we couldn't figure out, you know, those are always really cool comments. So thank you so much.
So what was I? Oh, one of the requirements, Russ wanted space. So we got 1.5 acres of space. Big yard, big, huge yard. And the day that we moved in, this gentleman stops by in front of the house and he asked if we wanted him to mow the lawn. And he wanted how much?
$250,
So,
which I thought was ridiculous.
but then I talked with April because Bobby owns a landscaping company, and she said no, with doing the edging as well as the lawn mowing for 1.5 acres, that's about right, because there's a lot of time involved in that. But the grass grows so fast here. You need it done really 2 to 3 times a month.
Yeah.
We're not spending $750 a month.
No,
on
we
lawn
had
mowing.
planned on it. I said, you know, we'll just pay somebody. I thought it was going to be like $50 to $75 a mow. So I was like, yeah, we'll just pay
That's
somebody.
some 12-year-old with his.
Yeah.
So
Well,
then Russ goes and gets an electric lawnmower. An electric lawnmower for 1.5 acres. I can hear Bobby laughing right now.
Shush,
I'm
Bobby.
sure Bobby's laughing right now.
I said, you know, I can do it. I'll do like I'll do 1/4 of it every time, you know, and I'll just keep mowing like that. Yeah, no, I did it once, not the whole yard. I did like 1/3 of
No,
the acre,
not-
1/3 of an acre.
Not even. He did like 60 feet, and then the thing died, and he had to wait 5 hours.
Well, I'm talking. Yeah, it took me 3 times, but yeah, I said no. We're gonna go buy a riding lawnmower. I was supposed to talk to Bobby about that, but Bobby, an angel stepped in. I didn't even know. All of a sudden, I get a call from my mom, and she said, "Hey, there's a lawnmower coming to you, or a riding lawnmower coming to you." So I figured, well, I can't call Bobby now because the best Bobby can say is, "Hey, that's a great rig. You got a great mower. Good job." But he could really ruin my day by saying, "Oh yeah, no." That's horrible. So I'm not even going to tell Bobby what it is because I'm really happy with it. We'll just leave it at that.
So Russ was able to mow that, but I'll tell you, for the first 2 days when he was trying to do the lawn in little increments, he could only get really 3 little sections done per day because you had to, he could go like 20 minutes in each little section push mowing it. But once you got the
I go a lot
lawn-
longer. The machine, I outlast the machine. The machine could only
So
go
anyway,
20 minutes at a time because it would lose its charge. It took 5 hours in between charges, but I love it. It's still cool to
yeah,
look at.
it's still cool. So we got that, and he's all excited. And I think it was Robert Stitch. Sounds like we have plenty of room for RVs.
We do, yeah. So
We do have plans on putting a 50-30 amp
yeah.
bit in there.
Yeah,
And
we're gonna. I think what we had talked about 50, but I just think we're just gonna do 30 amp. So I know people like travels with or downsizing makes sense. Yeah, you're gonna have to only run one of those ACs or run your solar when you're plugged in to help with all that stuff. But we're definitely gonna put a 30 amp. We've got water over there already. I don't know. We might do a 50 amp. But we definitely have room. We've got over 1.5 acres, so if you're coming through the Louisiana, Texas area,
yeah, just
give us a shout. If we're here,
we're not going to put it out on like Boondockers Welcome or anything like that because we are going to be gone a lot. But
it's only for the 30 people in this room
That's
right now. Anybody else?
But you can always get a hold of us at Russ and Carrie at theroadsweroam.com.
29 people make it.
And there we go. and it's always an open invitation to you guys. So downsizing makes sense. Said I used to mow about 1 acre with a push mower.
Get out of town, Larry. Not just
How do
kidding.
you know that's not Alice?
Well, it could be. If it was Alice,
Hey,
I believe her.
That's right.
I believe her. But Larry, nah.
And then Charles Abound free mowers are the best mowers no matter what brand or size.
Yeah, so it's a 46-inch Craftsman T40, I believe. It runs nice. I am...
Wait, maybe you have tips. Anybody out there? Russ said the seat is too bouncy and his tailbone hurts.
Not the seat. It's just the lawn. Like, in front of the house and around the house, it's nice and flat. It's easy, and I can go full speed, no problem. But out in the acreage there, man, it bounces a lot. I mean, but it's just because the ground is real wavy out there. It looks flat because of the grass, but it's not my tailbone. It's like my kidneys, man. I feel like I've been kidney punched when I'm driving. So the only way I found is to slow way down.
Slow down. Not how you mow, it's how you mow fast.
Yeah.
That's
well,
right.
you know, that guy came and did it once, and I was timing him. I was like, $250. Okay, I'm gonna time him 58 minutes. I was like,
He showed up at like 7 o'clock the night before he
I
was
thought he was
supposed to
gonna
come.
be yeah.
And, you know, I'm like, there's no way he's going to finish before it gets dark. And sure enough, he did. But he
Yeah.
knew what he was doing. So Jim Kuzman said, online booking calendar, and then the overflow can go to some cabin all the way up in Indiana.
Oh,
So
yeah.
between,
Tall Pine Lodge.
there we go. So, you know, we've got it all
Yeah,
worked
between
out.
Patrick and Patty and I, we've got it covered.
We've got the problem of overflowing campgrounds solved.
Yeah.
You know, we're all set. That's why we really did this.
And then we're going to be partnering up with Downsizing Makes Sense for some properties up in Canada. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll have 2 countries covered here soon.
Alice said it was her push mowing that. She said that's
I knew
me,
it.
but true about Larry.
I'm telling you, women are so much tougher than guys. I mean, guys, we like to act like we're tough, but yeah, no. I knew it was Alice.
Mary said she'd love to meet us. We would love to meet you too. And I'm serious, you know, we keep our eyes out for other little guys, especially when we're on the road. I forget who it was. I'll have to look back
Yeah.
at my notes. We were on I-65 headed south one day. I saw one. I had to go onto Facebook and I'm like, if that's you, hello. And he
Hello,
got back
Carl.
to us.
Carl from up in Oregon, who was originally from Hawaii, and I met through metal detecting, says they have 2 acres up in Oregon.
Ooh.
We're coming up to the PNW here later,
But
Carl.
we're stopping. We've got, okay, Liz Childers, who has an amazing place. I mean, she's got
Yeah.
this set up. They even have their own little vineyard garden area. She said if during hurricane season we ever have to skedaddle out, we've got an open invitation.
There you go.
out
Yeah,
there.
I think Liz was the first person we stayed with that we didn't know, that we kind of mooch-docked, and Carrie's like, oh yeah, we're set up there. I was like,
Mr. Antisocial
you
was
set up,
afraid.
we don't even know them. They live out in middle of nowhere. She goes, well, she sounds nice. I said, she sounds nice, but we could end up,
And she is nice.
at some real crazy person's house. And I felt so stupid because Liz was one of the nicest. Liz and Verl were some of the nicest people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a good time. But I was not used to just a name on YouTube and oh yeah, we're gonna put ourselves
That
in.
was his whole law enforcement
Yeah, I didn't trust
background.
anybody. I'm a little bit more trustful now.
Where my fundraising background, I mean, that's all I did was I would reach out to strangers and go visit them as part of my job. So to me, it was just a fantastic. I was excited about it. But yeah, Russ, that was really getting him out of
Liz
his
says
comfort
she's crazy.
zone.
They just hide it well.
Downsizing makes sense. Said we know a great area in Canada. We eventually might be 6 months in the U.S. and 6 months in Canada.
There you go.
Definitely
There you go.
cooler up there in the summer than Florida, for
Just
sure.
a little bit, yeah.
Robert
So-
said you pretty much need a 200 amp or larger electric service to run a 50 amp RV and a house with air conditioning, and most heating loads electric.
There you go. Yeah, I think we're just gonna do a 30 amp out there. So
We just have to get the driveway.
I just want to make
set.
sure we are going to definitely cut off a couple minutes before
So in 5
8.
minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes because we Patty and Patrick are having their live stream and it's Patrick's birthday, so we all need to go over there
Yes.
and see that stream.
But this is kind of scary for us. I'll tell you. I mean, one, buying the house sight unseen. I was talking to Mary Thuma, and while we were going through this, and I said, I could just walk away from this. My heart wasn't totally into it. I wasn't really excited. We really didn't. It came on so quickly that we really hadn't thought about. Let's get a house. Let's get a house.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, it's like, okay, we need it, but it doesn't mean we have to stop traveling.
So here's the whole truth about buying that house. Before my dad called, we had really been talking about it. I had gotten a tick on me, and we had just been like nonstop travel. I had a tick on my back, and then the very next day, Carrie had a tick on her. I said, that's it. We're done. Find a place to rent, find a place to buy. We're done. I don't know why I didn't call it done when I had the tick on me, but as soon as you had the tick on you, I was like, we're done. And then my dad called, and that just kind of cemented things. But
I mean, we've had moments like that where you've been like that, and then we would just take a break. We'd get an Airbnb or something. So I thought that was just a whatever.
And it really would have been.
And the one thing we were really considering was a larger rig.
Yeah.
That's the mindset that we were in. We were really kind of more in the mindset of a
Fifth wheel.
fifth wheel.
Yeah.
But then when the thing happened with his dad, that's just kind of, okay, we can still travel, we can still do what we want, but we have this off on the side. So that's kind of where we were at on that.
Yeah, but like I said, we are going to get a little bit more busy now. So it was growing pains with Roads We Roam. Nail in the Foot was just so easy because I put a GoPro right here and I just walked through stupid, crazy stuff that was about to fall over and just slap it up. And a little more than that. But and where Roads We Roam requires a little bit more editing and that sort of thing.
Which I will be going, so while Russ is working at booth 400 at the Hershey Show,
Yep.
he's leaving me to my own devices, so I apologize in advance for the filmography
Yeah, why
not being as great, but I'm going to go through and tour as many of the RVs as possible for you guys. So if you have any special requests, make sure you get a hold of us, let us know, and I'll try to make sure to get them for you.
All right. We just got about a minute and 47 seconds left, so let's read some of these comments
RV
here.
Vagabond Travels said, we're having a house built in Arizona, sold our house in Colorado in June. We will be in our 30-foot travel trailer until February or March, a new way of life for us. Wow.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Definitely.
Exciting. Liz asked what days we'll be there. Every single day.
Every day from 9 a.m. to 8
8 p.m. Yeah, 11-hour days, 5 days a week. So.
The Shar Star Sharon NZ. Great live stream. I'm off to watch TWD now. Look forward to your next
Awesome.
videos.
We'll see you there.
And then Robert Stitch, I find that if you have chronic medical conditions, you pretty much have to have a home base for seeing doctors from. It definitely does make a big difference. I will totally agree with that because we kind of put stuff off
Thank you,
for a
Patrice.
long time that way. Donna is getting her RV built. She's getting her a bee.
Bee, yes.
I can't wait to
Ooh.
see that one. I mean, we'll
Now
see.
that we have a home base, we might look at a bee here later. Man, those are cool.
All right, so we are going to wrap up here. We're right about that time. Thank you so much, guys, for coming out and joining us tonight. It's great to be back in touch with y'all. And again, if you're heading through
Perfect, Liz.
the
Appreciate that.
Louisiana-Texas border, drop us a line at russandcarrie@theroadswearome.com. If we are going to be home, you've got a place to park your rig.
All right, Sherry, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Carrie and I feel like we're
Liz
true
DC
friends
has
with
a big
everybody here. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.